Urgot, to the shotgun-knees, is a champion that many would describe as an easy brain-dead champ for low IQ top laners, but reality is that most players can't use Urgot's secret 6th ability. This is Urpog, multi-role master, tier player, and Grandmaster Urgot player in EU West, connoisseur of Urgot's gameplay, who decided to main this champion exclusively because Darius was too easy for him. Today we'll talk to Urpog in an attempt to decipher how he carries as Urgot, what makes him different from all the other Urgot players in EU West, and what is Urgot's secret 6th ability.
I am Urpog. I'm a Grandmaster on EU West, but I've also hit Masters on all roles on Urgot, on EU West and NA. Because I thought, it was a bit easy on EU West, I might as well go and do it on NA also, on 160 ping. A little bit of a flex. I started playing Urgot because they buffed Darius when he was already strong. Because I used to be a Darius OTP, but Darius is already a really meta staple pick, and then they buffed him, and in video games in general, I don't like playing characters who are meta. So I will always lean myself towards champions that are like underdogs. Because I think it's more fun if you beat your laner on something that's weak or stereotypically weak. Because it's easy to win on something strong, but it's harder to win on something weak. And Urgot traditionally was seen as like a weak juggernaut. Darius was a strong juggernaut, so I went for a weak one. And ever since then, since season 10, I've been a one-trick.
As Urpog has achieved Grandmaster in EU West and Masters in every lane, what is the best lane to play Urgot in and why?
Mid lane. Mid lane Urgot works really well as a counterpick towards assassins. And if an assassin gets put out the game early, they're pretty much redundant for the rest of the lobby. So if you see Talon or Silas or Neferi, anything like that in the mid lane, you pick Urgot into it. They can't kill you, and you have too much damage. You push faster than them, and your class is just way better than theirs from ahead. So mid lane, absolute favorite.
Did anything change for Urgot in the new season?
It changed absolutely everything. Runes, items, build paths, matchups. Traditionally, season 13, you would only run PCA. Fleet was a bit more niche, but now everyone goes Fleet. His items completely changed, Hullbreaker, everything's changed for Urgot pretty much. So there's a lot to learn. I'm still learning myself.
What would you say are the best matchups to play Urgot?
Singed and Silas. Singed has a flip, but Urgot can buffer it and grab him through the interaction. So if Singed uses one of his abilities, he just dies. Silas is, he always wants to eat in, and he's a melee champion, for one. Urgot is really good against melee champions in general. But Silas wants to eat in, and you can buffer that and just kill him. So it's just very free.
When should you dodge or not play Urgot?
Poppy and Zilean. Poppy because she's a tank and she can interrupt my dash, which is my most important ability. Tanks are Urgot's like worst matchup historically. And Zilean because he'll play to never fight you, and if you ult someone, he ults them movement speed. So there's a lot of negative keywords. So, yeah. I dodge Zilean. I would never play against Zilean ever again.
And how would you describe Urgot's power spike during a game?
Turbulence. Urgot has one of the strongest early games, but also sometimes you can't leverage it. So Urgot is really strong, levels 1 through and 3, but then he falls off 4, 5, strong again on 6, weak on 7, 8, and then strong again on 9. So it's very up and down. It's a very weird early game. Urgot has 5 spikes. He has the level 4 spike, which is when you put 2 points into Q, which like doubles the damage, allows you to play very aggressive. He spikes on 6 with his ultimate. He spikes on 9 by getting his toggle. He spikes on 13 because that's when his levels stop scaling on his legs. That's when you're strongest in the lobby. And he also spikes on first item really hard. So he has 5 spikes.
How does Urpog try to get ahead in the game?
I will do whatever is physically possible to solo kill my laner, but it doesn't matter even if I lose, because again, Urgot has really turbulent, like, power level. So even if I do lose the 1v1, I will eventually be useful. So playing against me is like on a timer. If you kill me, that's fine, I'll scale.
Urgot, his early weak game, gets compensated by his mid game and his secret ability that increases his damage output with at least 30%. Here is Urpog his explanation.
Urgot is probably the best mid-game champion in the game. I don't think there's a single champion who's better than Urgot in the mid-game, as long as your early game has been fine. The biggest problem with Urgot is his early game, but the mid and late are really good. There is toggling. So what toggling is, Urgot's W is a machine gun, but it doesn't consume your auto attack in your kit. So what you would do is you'll auto attack, and then you'll shoot 3 times with your W, and then you'll untoggle it and auto attack again, which increases your DPS by 33%, or somewhere in that ballpark.
Toggling is a must-learn for every Urgot abuser. It greatly increases Urgot his strength, but might take you some time to learn. Now, how should you play the late game, and what is Urgot his role in team fights?
Late game Urgot, he serves multiple purposes. He's either side laning and you can't beat him in a 1v1 because he's scaled. So usually like playing through macro on a side lane, you draw the enemy team to the bot lane so you can get a Baron. or you are just standing in front of your team, you're waiting for the enemy team to engage, or your team to engage. Urgot doesn't work good as a first engage, due to the volatility of his E. But if somebody engages for him, or the enemy team enables his reactive gameplay, then it's perfect. Imagine Scion, but with a gun. That's how you should see Urgot.
A Scion with machine guns certainly sounds scary. Makes me wonder how many dead the bows could get playing Urgot. Now, what is it you do differently compared to a Diamond Urgot?
I am always greedy. I will do whatever physically possible to get the most amount of gold. The strength of it comes from the fact that sometimes I won't recall until I have 4,000 gold. A diamond player might recall when they have 2,000 gold for a component. I will stay on the map as long as there's something for me to take. So I take a lot more risk, so it's a lot riskier.
Now, do you get any flame or toxicity for playing Urgot?
Everybody thinks Urgot is very easy, but I'm pretty sure he's harder than most people give him credit for. I've talked to Whippo, Nemesis, and all these high Challenger professional players, and they've all pretty much agreed with the ballpark idea that you have to probably play 40 to 50 games of Urgot before you can actually play him well. People are under the impression that Urgot is turn on W and win, but there's a lot of small niches. There's buffering, toggling, there's so many interactions you have to learn. Urgot is one giant knowledge check, so I think Urgot is quite hard.
Urgot is known to be a lane bully, and in League of Legends' current state, toxic. How does Urpog use this to his advantage?
So Urgot's R is he shoots a missile into you, and then after X amount of time, it will kill you. So what I like to do is when I'm executing somebody, but like I hold the ult on them, I don't recast it because I just start dancing at them for mental warfare. So you'll see me just like randomly spamming emotes and dancing, and then I'll kill them.
Nothing is more infuriating than dying to an Urgot ult. Imagine getting danced and emote on. Yikes. Which streamer do you enjoy playing against the most?
I run into Spearshot quite a bit, and it's always the most fun in League that I can have, because me and Spearshot play to kill each other no matter what. Because he runs Ignite, I run Ignite, we just run into each other, and whoever wins, wins.
I noticed you play with some very unique Urgot skins. Can you tell us a bit more?
Yeah, so Riot Games made a skin called Fright Night Urgot, and I hated it so much, I've probably spent a couple thousand on making my own skins. I've made Spirit Blossom, Cyberpunk, Project, and I'm working on Pool Party next, and you can get that in my Discord. It's full there.
You heard Urpog. If you want some badass Urgot skins to play with, you should check out his Discord. I will add a link in the description. Here's a quick bonus question from Max Cassette. He is a viewer and he asked, how do you handle your mentality because he saw you laughing, so win or lose?
I try to remember that I'm very fortunate to be in the place that I am in. I don't really have any business being miserable because I'm very fortunate as a person. I've got a roof over my head, I've got a computer, and I've got a nice chat that we can just have fun in. So I don't think I'm really in a position to be miserable. So I just say, it is what it is and move on.
Is there anything you would like to say to an aspiring Urgot player?
You have to just play. Sometimes you'll feel bad, but if you just never give up on Urgot, because at the end of the day, he's a scaling champion, you could be 0 and 8, and you can probably still 1v1 your laner if you're playing it correctly enough. So just don't give up when you're playing Urgot.
And where can the viewers find you?
YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Discord, I'm everywhere. Just search up Urpog, I'm there.
Urgot super!